Right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, for the second time in as many All Star games, New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso won the home run derby. Now, last night we saw Alonso hit 74 home runs overall. But you look at what he was able to do in the first round as he set the tone with 35. And of course, Sal Perez of the Kansas City Royals had to follow him in the first round. And, Sal Perez held his own as he knocked out 28 homers himself. But when you got to go up against a guy that launched that many, 35 in one round, it is a tough act to follow. After that, Alonso got the best of Juan Soto from the Washington Nationals in the semis. And of course, Soto was just on the heels of going at it with Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels. And that probably was the best round or the best matchup of the tournament last night overall. And then, of course, Alonso batted last in the final round, and he got the best of Trey Mancini of the Baltimore Orioles, thinking football, of course, with the hat on. But nonetheless, you look at Alonso, and he has the classic swing for a power hitter, which makes his transition so much easier to the home run derby. We've seen guys over the years where they've had to adjust their swings to be in the derby. It takes away from who they are, and it's so much easier for the guys that do it naturally. I mean, I think about Ken Griffey Jr. Many years ago, and of course, Jr. was on hand last night to hand Alonso the trophy. But you think about Jr. and what he did in his heyday in the home run derby as a participant, and that swing was just flawless. And you look at Alonso, it's one of those, he's a classic power hitter, and he can get into a groove, and once he gets into the groove, the rest is history. And of course, last night, the perfect setting for a power hitter such as Alonso, playing in that thin Rocky Mountain air up in Denver. Now, make no mistake about it, we saw this from Alonso in 2019 when the All-Star game was in Cleveland, and of course this time around in Denver. He had a lot of fun, and he loves to have a lot of fun. And he loves to put on a show for the fans because this is what the All-Star game is all about. I know that there are guys who are staying home with their families. I understand that. But at the same time, you know what? This is all about the Midsummer Classic. It's all about having fun with your peers, and it's also showing off for the fan base. You look at Alonso overall this season, 17 home runs and 49 runs batted in. And of course, everybody is looking for Pete Alonso to be the Pete Alonso that he was 2 years ago when he hit more than 50 home runs that year. And of course, he became the first Met player to ever eclipse the 50 home run mark in a season. But nonetheless, the Mets, Alonso, and their fan base are all hopeful that, what they saw last night will be able to carry over to the second half of the season because, the Mets offense, they've been anemic at times this season, and they're in first place in the National League East. And they're going to need more out of their offense if they're going to make that postseason push and hold off some of the other teams in that division. Now, Alonso definitely has the ability to get on a roll in the mode of a classic power hitter, meaning that he can put this lineup on his back for a couple of weeks. And right now, it's definitely something that the Mets need as they look to fend off the other teams in this division. Now, will Alonso be able to get it done and get it going in the second half of the season? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, don't get me wrong, 17 home runs and 49 RBIs is definitely not shabby. I think at the end of the day, Alonso definitely has the potential and the ability to hit 35 to 40 home runs this season and drive in close to, if not more than 100 runs. And if he can hit those numbers, the Mets should be in a prime position to win this division. Nobody's running away with the NL East now. You expect somebody to get hot at some point. And I've been saying it for a couple of months now. The way things are going, 88 or 89 victories is more than likely going to do it for the National League East. And it's so important because I continue to say this. Both wild cards, more than likely in the National League, are coming out of the NL West, with the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers all duking it out. And I know with the Padres' recent slide that the Cincinnati Reds are creeping up on them for that final postseason spot. But nonetheless, if you're the Mets, you want to win that division. And with that said, it's got to be all hands on deck from your offense, starting with the likes of Alonso. I do expect the Mets to go out there and get themselves another bat prior to the trade deadline to kind of get them over the hump. That would be a huge shot in the arm, especially if Alonso can get going. And, who knows what could happen with this team for the second half of the season. But nonetheless, if you're Pete Alonso, you get $1 million for winning the home run derby. He's only making 600 and change, as he's still on his rookie deal. So you cannot, be mad at him for going all out and trying to win that derby. Hats off to him. He put on a good show for himself. Like I said, he loves to have fun, took advantage of the thin Rocky Mountain air, and he continued to show why he is one of the better power hitters, young power hitters in all of Major League Baseball. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. If you like what you saw and heard today, please feel free to hit the like button as well as subscribing to this channel. Now, also, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.